Cowabunga, dudes! What's up? It's I, 8-Bit Eric. Today we're going to talk about a RPG game on the Nintendo Switch called Masquerada, Songs and Shadows. It's an interesting, I guess, premise. You know, it has characters that have masks on. It's like real Renaissance style. It has a nice little art look, and you know what? I wanted to check it out and see if it's a sweet game and if we can sink our teeth into it or not. So guys, if you're brand new to the channel, feel free to throw a subscription my way. It's completely free to do so, and let's go ahead and begin the video. So guys, Masquerada is a tactical RPG with like a top-down view in a Renaissance era setting. You know, this has like an interesting premise, I guess. You know, characters that have different masks that have fire elements. You know, you got like fire, you got water, air, earth, and these give you certain abilities and stuff. So after the prologue of the game, you're introduced to like the customization thing for your character. You make your character, then shortly after there, you get to pick your element, and based on this element is what kind of abilities and attacks you eventually get. So I chose fire during my playthrough because I'm a pyromaniac, and you know, it's combat is kind of interesting, to be quite honest. The combat, you can either choose where you can pause the game and plan out your attack, or auto attack, but it's not like where you push a button to swing your sword or not. Basically, your character goes up to whatever enemy he's targeting or attacking, and you just auto attack. Like literally, you sit there and you watch your character swing their sword or their weapon, and you could choose from like 3 different stances. You know, there's like a defensive stance and a offensive stance, and a stance that actually shoots like a fire element ball out for like a ranged attack. But the one main complaint that I have about the combat system, it just doesn't feel engaging enough. It doesn't feel like I'm actually doing something other than just walking up to whatever enemy I want to attack and attacking it. And then every so often, depending on what abilities you unlock underneath your health meter, you'll see certain attacks and abilities that your character has, and you push A or push B when it's ready, and it has a short amount of cooldown, and it's like, okay, you know, it just really feels like you're just sitting there pushing buttons. So that was the main gripe I have with the combat system. I would have liked it to be a little bit more interactive, maybe a little bit more engaging, where, you know, like kind of like a live action RPG game, like a Zelda or a Skyrim or something like that. But I guess I could see where they were going with this. That's just, to me, I would have rather had either at least something in the middle between turn-based and action RPG-ish. You know, this auto battling stuff, for me, it just doesn't cut it for me. It just doesn't feel like I'm playing something. The art style of Masquerada, again, it takes place like in the Renaissance era. Everything is colorful. It's like I wouldn't say a cel-shaded type of graphical style here, but it does look nice. It pops out, especially in certain cutscenes and stuff, when you see like the in between the chapters and everything, and they kind of have like a comic book style dialogue with some characters and stuff. I think that looks really nice. Interestingly enough, there are a couple of voice actors in this game. I believe one of them is from Mass Effect, Jennifer Hale, I want to say, and then the other one is Matt Mercer from Resident Evil, and I think Mass Effect as well. I might be mistaken on that. I'm sure my friend JKB will correct me on that, but 2 huge voice actors in this game, which shows promise. Unfortunately, I do feel that the narrative structure and the story and the plot kind of get a little too text heavy for my liking. You know, if you're going to have 2 huge popular voice actors in gaming, take advantage of that. Don't rely too much on text-heavy stuff. There's a lot of times where I was just skipping some of these text-heavy narratives because I don't know. There's something about reading in games a little too much that I just really don't like. It really breaks the flow of the combat, and you already have the combat kind of lagging, in my opinion, because of the auto attack. Throw a whole bunch of narrative stuff that you got to tap A to continue reading and stuff, and it just really feels like you're not doing much of anything in this game at all. I really feel like they missed the boat on taking advantage of the voice actors they had. The plot has something to do with like some kind of like mystery that's happening between like the politicians and stuff. Somebody gets kidnapped or disappears. I don't know. I tried to follow it, but I just kind of lost interest. Even a couple hours in, I was still kind of lost and left in the loop of it because it just seems like it just wasn't engaging enough for me and didn't catch my attention. Didn't really make me want to sink my teeth into it. So forgive me on that. You know, if a game doesn't capture me in the plot, I really kind of just skip over it. And this ain't the first time either. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing, but you know, I'm going to kind of hold it towards the game, just not really capitalizing correctly on that. I mean, honestly, I felt they could have did something interesting with the whole idea of the mask and the element and, you know, stuff like that. There was potential in this game, but I feel it fell a little bit short on that. The length of the game so far, it's pretty interesting. It is pretty challenging, though. There's some boss fights that I've encountered in Masquerada where I'm like, holy crap, how are you supposed to fucking get past this? And I just keep dying and dying. Once you get more characters in your party, you're able to actually switch between them. And if one character falls, you can revive them. But a lot of times it's like you're juggling, trying to avoid getting hit by enemies and everything, and trying to have your parties not get hit. And it seems like your players that you're not controlling really don't do much. Like the AI in this game is kind of dumb. Like you would hope that they would throw spells of their own, maybe heal themselves somehow, and just take advantage of their attacks and stuff. But oftentimes it seems like they're really not doing much of anything but dying, especially on some of these bigger boss fights. So I was frustrated at some points. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some of the gameplay, kind of demo it out just a little bit, just so you can see if, you know, this is something that you potentially would want to sink your teeth into. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay guys, so we're going to play a quick little snippet, show you guys some combat, how narrative plays out and everything like that, so you can see we are about to enter an area where there are some monsters. So here's how it goes. You basically, it has auto on right now. You go up to the enemy and you hold ZR and it does it all for you. I'm not a big fan of this, to be honest. You could even switch your stance using the directional buttons. So there's one stance right there. And basically the stance I'm currently doing shoots fireballs at whoever I'm pointing at. There's this one, and then the Sicario, Passaline, Dirge, and Sicario, or Passavere. I don't know my Italian, but you know that's basically how combat works in a nutshell. I could switch over and play as the blue character. Some missions you have more than just two. Some missions you have other, and then you can see on the bottom, I have B and A. With B has a cooldown meter right now, but A I also have an attack. So you can see if I wanted to use it, I can aim at, see, you just saw me do that. I'm the red character, by the way. I don't know if you guys could tell if that translated over on camera. So I just did another attack. My guy died, so let me try to revive him in the middle of battle. You can't move or do anything, so sometimes it becomes quite difficult to fight and attack in this game, especially when you're trying to take care of your other partners and stuff. Alright. We got one more enemy here. Oh, I gotta heal my guy. So you can see the combat honestly is not that engaging. It's not that great, honestly. I kind of, it feels like a chore. You know, it's because it's not interactive enough. It doesn't feel like, you know, I'm doing anything other than just going to an enemy and holding the button. So that was just a small taste of the combat. And the game in general, you know, it has this over-the-head isometric view. You explore a little bit. You can just, I don't know. There's something missing about this game that I just can't really sink my teeth into, to be quite honest. So who knows? You know what I mean? It had potential to be a lot better. I just want to show you guys how the combat works real quick. I'm not going to like sit you through a whole spiel of the game because some of these areas do take quite a while, guys. So let's go ahead, finish up with some closing thoughts. So yeah, overall, this game honestly, I would say it just kind of fell a little short of my expectations for it. It had some premise, you know, I read about it, saying that it was a nice top-down tactical RPG, like that takes place in the Renaissance era and everything. And I was hoping for a little bit more. I don't want to say the game is horrible because it's not by any means. Just for me, it just seems like it just didn't do anything too different from stuff I've already played. So I would probably say on the 8-bit Eric game grading scale that Masquerada is probably a 7. It's passable, but it's definitely not a game that I'm probably going to find myself going back to once I play through it completely. Its price is also a little high on the high end. It's $19.99. I think for what we get in regards to this game, that's a little bit too steep of a price. I wouldn't recommend buying it unless it went on sale for like a really good price. Like if it dropped down to like 10, maybe consider getting it. But $20 for this game for me is not completely worth it. Again, because just everything about it just kind of felt bland. You know, other than the way that the colors and graphics looked, the game's plot, story, mechanics, control, combat, everything just felt kind of bland. It almost felt like a mobile game at times. Not to mention, there's a lot of loading states in this game. It's like every time you want to go or progress to a different area, you have to go to like a green little like sphere looking like landing pad in the area that you're in, and then it loads up another screen instead of just seamlessly going to another part of the stage. It felt like loading for cutscenes, loading for narrative, loading for moving to another side. Just way too much loading for my liking, and at times the loading just kind of slowed things down. So not only do you have combat that's broken, not only do you have narrative that just pops up every once in a while, like you're literally just fucking reading shit, but you also have loading screens left and right. So again, just kind of, I don't know, I feel that this game wasn't executed properly. So guys, again, 7, and you know, maybe wait for it to go on sale. And guys, that's it for the review today. Thanks a lot for watching. Again, if you're brand new to the channel, feel free to throw a subscription. Comment down below, let me know what you think. Have you played this game? Are you interested in it? Are you gonna pass on it? And don't forget to like, dislike. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great day. Peace out. Consider supporting 8-bit Eric on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link below in the description.